Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Emily Ferguson, in an opinion piece for The Express, suggests King Charles has been unremarkable and to save the firm, he needs to stop relying on Kate. Ferguson writes, "It started off with a moving, perfectly delivered speech to the nation in the immediate aftermath of the Queen's death, but went slightly awry when he had a tantrum over a pen in front of the world's media. The first few weeks, however, were not easy, and he held the royal family and the country together when we needed him most, ensuring her funeral and the preceding events went off without a hitch. The months that followed have been characterized by a flurry of family dramas, with the publication of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Netflix docu-series, Harry's explosive memoir, and Prince Andrew's attempts to return to the royal frontline. A change in reign is never easy, especially after losing someone so widely adored, but other than the coronation, nothing else springs to mind. The King's approach, however, appears to be to roll out the Prince and Princess of Wales, who are two of the most popular members of the royal family owing to their ability to keep the firm relevant and grounded. Kate is the one with all the draw. Whenever she's out, her pictures go on the front page and people flock to catch a glimpse of her. Whereas when the King and Queen step out to visit, no matter how important or pressing, rarely makes waves. While palace aides are furious at the idea that the King is simply a caretaker for William and are keen to point out that he has his own agenda of climate, community, commonwealth and culture, without action it's hard for that image to be dispelled. GB News presenter Camilla Tominey wondered about the ages of Charles and Camilla. Is it problematic for them that they're in their 70s and they've got this huge workload? There's been a few reports of saying, oh God, they haven't found it as easy. There's talk that the Commonwealth heads of government, I think, is going to be Samoa or somewhere miles and miles away. It's not like when the Queen took the throne at 25 and could jet around the world for months on end. I mean, these people are working well beyond retirement age, and also does that pose a problem for the brand? Because they kind of seem like the sandwich generation, between the Queen on the throne for all that time and then, of course, the Prince and Princess of Wales and their youth and vitality, the other side of the coin. You worry about the slimmed-down nature of things. I mean, Princess Anne expressed some concern that they couldn't slim down any further. I think when the King talked about slimming down the monarchy from a value-for-money perspective, he wasn't anticipating the absence of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and indeed the absence of his own brother, the Duke of York, in public life. And you look at the balcony now and you think, oh my goodness, it's a bit thin on the ground. Royal author Clive Irving thinks William and Kate should tour the US, but says it wouldn't be as big as a deal as the previous royal visits. You can't imagine William and Kate having the same impact if they came to America. You cannot imagine William and Kate in the White House. The whole world has moved on from that. In terms of future workload, William and Kate should go on a charm offensive for the royal family, he said. It's clear that William and Kate are very popular here in the US amongst those who follow the royal family. I think there's a great deal of feeling that William understands the mood and the reality on the ground far more than Charles ever will, Irving said. I think William and Kate do a really good job at trying to balance his incapacity to connect, because they do have the capacity to connect, and Kate does in particular. Palace Intrigue will be right back. After leaving off in 1997, The Crown's upcoming season will begin to look at William and Kate's romance. Vulture took a look at the upcoming season and the casting of Prince William, Ed McVeigh, Prince Harry, Luther Ford, and Kate Middleton, Meg Bellamy. The Crown, according to producers, takes an approach of finding actors with a strong resemblance to the personages they're playing, but who are able to bring something beyond a straight-up facsimile. Casting director Robert Stern explained, I think there's a pleasure for the viewer and everybody if the actor looks like them, but it's about finding people who have a connection with the writing and the role. You want someone who's going to represent as many different colours of a real complex life as possible. The great thing about The Crown is that there's never any pressure to find a famous person to do the part, so it's an open field. Vulture reports the team conducted an international open call, putting out word to drama groups in universities and high schools, on casting websites and on social media, everywhere we could think of where teenagers who were interested in acting might gather. The key requirement for those Gen Zers be able to convincingly play a range of ages from 16 to 17 to the characters' early 20s and look enough like early 2000s, Will, Harry and Kate. No previous acting experience required. They had actors read a page or two of dialogue from the script, a fairly innocuous and undramatic one, so we'd see what happens when Peter Morgan's words start coming out of their mouths. Earlier in the week, Netflix teased the storyline as part of a series of social media posts on upcoming UK originals. It posted a picture of an order of service from the royal wedding between Charles and Camilla, which took place in 2005. There is no Meghan in the new season, Stern said. Lots of people wrote in saying, could I be Meghan Markle? And I was like, no, you can't, I'm afraid, because she doesn't appear in this one. It ends before she enters the story. We continue to strongly encourage the Crown to reconsider, as there's plenty more story to tell. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalacintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, or your app of choice. And if you like the show, please hit those 5 stars on Apple. It really helps us out. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.